Hello again. I hope you guys are doing well. To day number 3 of the Inktober challenge. I hope I'm not too loud or anything. The prompt for today is an introduction. We've got vessel and I wasn't quite sure what to do with that. I mean, I kind of heard the word, but I wasn't sure what it was, so I googled it, and either way we go, container ships, like ships that carry stuff around, have some form of ancient kind of, what's the word? Clay pot. We go with clay pots. Clay pots around, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. That's about as much as we're gonna do. Okay, this is not good. I need to remember to keep these clean. Okay. How are you guys today? Okay. Again, I don't know what to say. It's one thing to have to put into paper. Right. Anyway, you were thinking cat drawings or something. I mean, so if we're gonna make Inktober cat theme, then it's obviously gotta have cats, right? Even I don't know which way. It's best to just do something, but I think I might just go for with the cat drawings and just get on my hand. Okay. But what shape? I mean, it's gonna be big. Something, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what, but I don't know, I'm gonna have my own interpretation of it. Focus, camera, focus. Good. think we're gonna give it handles as well, just for the sake of it. I mean, you gotta lift it up. Right? Just the drawings kind of tell you some stuff about what they were like, or what was in the pot, what they, stored in various pots. I think that's really interesting. History in general is interesting. And this pot is not very symmetrical, but who cares? It's a drawing, it doesn't have to be accurate, right? That was a very quick sketch. But the fun stuff comes when you go into detail. Fun. Like, like these kind of pots, I guess. I love those patterns that they have there. They're really unique and very, very pretty. No, I did not read the website. That's either ships or sort of containers for something. Because, I mean, I can look interesting, but this is a lot more fun. So, great. Clean that up. Now, either I'm gonna have them, the pot kind of have like of some which sounds a bit, I don't know, just kind of art. The history of create prompt, which is in front, like the thing you buy with ropes and stuff. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do for that. It's interesting around there, I guess. But what to do? In the setting of maybe using maybe something for, I probably will figure something out. Not good, not good. Now if I can maybe across the day or something, my brain will come up with something automatically for what to do tomorrow. Tomorrow's probably difficult. It's the point of all this comfort zone, but did I just drop it? Okay. Oh, that's not good. Amazing! No! Not what I wanted to do. Just gonna use what I have here right now to clean this up. Mess. But I've created. Hallelujah. Great start, great start. But anyway. Anyway, where was I? Right, I was talking about knots. It's interesting. So there's also kelp knots, which could be interesting for tomorrow. I'm not sure that will work out though. Should have cleaned this beforehand, but might as well just do this now. Did I just get blue ink on there? Yes, I did. I'll just cover it later. I mean, the Celtic knot is kind of more of a symbol, so then you've also got saying, I guess, with tying knots and stuff. Like, what's it like to marry in the It definitely needs cleaning. Oh. Right, I'm gonna have to clean hands a lot after the stream. This is great. Great story. Okay, back to the vessel. Okay. Guess it helped a bit. That's the point of it. Okie dokie. I mean, I could also make it cat themed without drawing any cats or a fish or whatever. Let's see. It'll work out eventually. Let's actually get Molly. It's already been 20 minutes, more than a sketch. So, I mean, if it's some form of ancient pot, it would probably not have color. So, black, yellow, red, and brown. I think that sounds good, yeah. I mean, I also find history fascinating, especially with like how to do things. Just, you know, things of history, how back then, right? I mean, they didn't all have the stuff we have, and I am blocking the view. How great! How great of me to block the view. You, I can speak. I swear. You know, used to kind of produce these kind of pots. Well, not that kind of pot. I mean, this is not based on anything. It was just, you know, something I drew. I think it's really fascinating how they made these pots, and sad that really anyone still does this anymore. Nowadays, plastic containers and stuff. I mean, it's I mean, again, it's not great for the environment if we use plastic, but even they had huge landfills of clay. So it was humans and I mean, this clay is somewhat sustainable. Like once it broke. I mean, for like historians finding those clay trash, clay kind of piles, you know, helpful to know what they ate, how they kept it, and trade and trade. Ensure we're really connected. Cease. Getting really dirty hands here. Great. But anyway. I got no. Okay, let's just make patterns, right? That'll work. Um, um, mess up. Um, that looks okay. Great. Now I've figured out how to draw a fish with ink. Anyway. What can I talk about? Yesterday we watched we went to a museum part 2. It was kind of fun, even though at some parts the jokes were. I mean, it was funny at times, but when we drag out a joke too long, you know, like the one where the two monkeys and Larry just each other, that went really quick. It was just, it was just supposed to entertain, so big deal. Right. Here we have pattern 1. It's nice. We're getting somewhere. Mm, right. Um, mm, since we've already drawn fish on here, I think it'd be good to have a sort of cat holding a fish in its mouth. Um, to just keep drawing. Of the eye. Like that. Kind of this of and just frame it a bit like it. a bit stereotypical for just. It's, I don't know. I like it with editing. Should be kind of curved more. I don't know what to talk about. Because, um, um, uh, I Um, Hi. Hello. Hi. How are you? I'm okay, thank you. How was your day? Oh, thank you. Thanks. I wasn't quite sure what to do with Vessel. You know, when it comes to how to put it to a bit daunting, I guess. Um, how was your day, Becky? Yeah, well now, if you two. I mean, okay, it's been raining. It's not nice. We want to go outside, but the weather's like, nah, not gonna let you. Want to go. Who wants to go outside nowadays? Right? I mean, autumn's are very wet, like for rain and stuff. It's not nice. Otherwise, the trees are looking really nice. I mean, it would be nice to draw them, but weather's like, nah, no. You're not gonna go outside today. You're gonna stay inside all day, as much as you want to go outside. What do you say when you don't know what to talk about? Talk about the weather. Yeah. Autumn is coming way too quick. I mean, it is. I was about to say it's September, but it's October. It's October, so what do you expect? You know, October is an autumn month. Thank you. Glad you like it. How are you doing, Brazy? Yes. Or you can talk about the condition of the streets. I'm okay. I haven't done much today, really, at all. Because, you know, if it wasn't raining, I would have gone outside on a walk. Weather doesn't like us in autumn or winter. It's getting really cold. Ugh. I don't know. But at least that's given us more opportunity to stay inside. Mm. Why did I close that? Oh dear. Uh, and my mind has blanked on out again. I've done the weather. I've got no. Shouldn't be staying silent either. Topics that you want to talk about, but then your brain just goes blank. My weekend is going fine. Watched movies. Yes, a movie yesterday, which was fun. And today I watched a YouTube video of someone a outfit from vintage patterns, which it's I find it really interesting. Vintage patterns and stuff, how they were made. Yes, vintage things are really cool. Like, it's they're just even I've watched a few videos on those. They're so interesting because to work them very different. Like in the videos I've watched, and she was explaining how it works and everything, and you kind of have that the machine gets adapted to you, and you have to adapt to the sewing machine, and it's really, really interesting how that works. Kind of have a pedal that you do with your, you've also I think you've got to turn something. I mean, I guess it depends on the machine. It would be amazing if it was around though. Just like an original old kind of, I think it was Victorian sewing machine. That would be so cool to have one of those. It also look really, really, really nice. You know. get into a flow with the machine. I think it looked easy when Bernadette was doing it, but that's she's got used to using a vintage sewing machine. She said she was also showing a friend, and they were kind of struggling with it because it was very, very different to the sewing machines we have nowadays. Because, well, the sewing machines back then also didn't have that many different, features. You could just do some stuff with it, and then the rest was done by hand. It was just supposed to cooking some of the processes, but otherwise it was just, the video that I watched today where she was making a vintage, a vintage outfit, kind of. She was not using vintage fashion, vintage fabric. I was not looking for vintage fashion. I was looking for vintage fabric. She was vintage looking fabric. She was using. I think that's really funny for like the blouse she was making. She was using a fabric that had pictures of people wearing vintage outfits, but like not like photographs, but like drawings that were printed on separately. It was fun. I don't remember what she was called though. Maybe I'll find it later. But it was very fun to watch. The result was very, very pretty as well. Wow, that sounds cool. Yeah, I know it really was. It was nice to watch. And I know I'm stuttering a lot. Am I not? Now the cat's very evil and grumpy, which is not great. But who cares? There we go. Look grumpy on the outside, but be sweet on the inside. I mean, yeah, but also, eh? I mean, we established yesterday that cats can be very aggressive at times, and otherwise, I agree. They can look grumpy on the outside, but be very, very sweet on the inside. Perhaps this one is sweet on the outside. Perhaps he's just looking like this. Which I should I have shaken this? I should have shaken that. Oops. Okay, let's shake our ink. Yeah, I think that's good. Now. Alright. Now the water's getting very murky, but that's fine. It'll be fine. We don't have much to draw, to keep drawing here anyway. Can add some more details and stuff, but it's not very complicated drawing. Okay. Um, I mean, like, just trying out, like, you know, when you're in vintage fashion and stuff. I watch those people a lot, like those who make vintage fashion clothes the old way, you know, with, you know, hand sewing. And Bernadette Donahue has now got an old sewing machine back from the day. I think it was a Victorian sewing machine. I think. I'm not sure. Because sometimes I might misremember stuff. But like that happens to everyone, right? I watch also Morgan Donna. She does interesting stuff as well. And I also watch someone who makes vintage shoes. And she recently made a video where she was discussing the myth that people back then had tiny feet. They did not, in fact, have tiny feet. It's just that when you don't wear the tiny shoes because they fit no one, then those shoes are more likely to survive than the ones that are worn, and that makes a huge amount of sense. Like, they did not just have tiny feet; they probably had average feet, like the size that we have now. It's just that the shoes that they actually wore hardly ever survived. Because, well, you wear something a lot, it's probably more likely to break than if you have something standing in a glass case to look at. Well, they probably didn't have the shoes standing in glass cases. That was a bad example, but I think that's really interesting, that those kind of myths, that back then they had really tiny feet, they were really small. Now the smaller sizes just survived, more likely. You know, probably with clothes as well. Like, once they had these kind of mass productions of shoes and clothes, That's true. Babies only wear their shoes for a very short time as they grow out of them. Older people wear them for much longer. Yeah, because, well, my feet are less likely to grow than the feet of an infant. And it's just because, like, those tiny shoes survived and are bones and stuff. That does not mean that people back then had tiny feet. It just means they had average feet and wore other shoes way more often. For some reason, I think there was also a myth going around that when the comet goes down, the heel goes up. But okay, that's just a ridiculous thing to say, isn't it? I mean, why? How would that even work? Right? Is it just like, oh, we're making less money, so we gotta wear higher heels? I don't think that. Oh boy, I just. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. Should have waited for that to drip down. Okay. Saved it. Where was I? She kind of debunked the myth, just looking at how things were back then when, you know, and how, like, when the shoes with higher heels were advertised and when they were worn in pictures and stuff. I mean, trends come and go, right? And sometimes it's a higher heel and sometimes it's a lower heel. I personally don't like higher heels because it's just not comfortable. But otherwise, I don't think it has anything to do with economy. You know what I mean? High heels are so uncomfortable. Yeah, I agree. I don't like them. They're not comfortable to walk in, and generally, I don't know. I mean, you can wear them for parties, I guess, but that's not a heck of a lot of time. Unless it's an outdoor party, then you should definitely wear something that doesn't sink into the ground. Okay. I also once saw a video of some of the vintage fashion YouTubers testing how warm you feel in, all the layers that people wore back then. And surprisingly, I mean, they still, felt hot. Hills in a forest once you learn how to fly. Once you learn how to fly. Yeah. I mean, if you can spontaneously grow wings or to make a broomstick fly, then go ahead and wear high heels if you're not gonna walk with them. um, cat sets also use broomsticks? A good question. I don't know that yet. All I know is that tomorrow the prompt will be knots, like the ones you tie with ropes. But I am not sure how that's going to work out. At some point the prompt will be raven. I mean, just come up with some new funky way for cat zerds to fly around. Depending on the prompts, right? I mean, ravens can fly. It would have to be big ravens. Cats are gonna fly on them. Ooh, I'm excited for that. For which? For what exactly? Figuring out what birds fly on. I mean, yeah, this whole world of magical cats is very, very exciting to establish. I mean, now we've got an ancient kind of vessel for fish for the cats. For how cats are fly. Figure it out. I mean, we've got ones that might work for this. We probably also have levitation spells to make things at least float around. I mean, what I can also do is look at the prompts again I've got and then figure out, you know, when we can work out how they're going to fly. Because I don't think that a broom was... I'm glad you're excited, Becky. I mean, wait. I don't think broom was part of the prompts list, but I'm sure we can still make this work, and yeah, it'll all work out eventually. Figure this out, this world of magical cats. I'm not sure cats can sit on a broom. I mean, probably not. I mean, they could have special broom seats to sit on brooms. Who knows? Who knows? There'll always be something that we can use, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a broom. I mean, broom is just the stereotypical thing for the witch. I've never really seen wizards with brooms, now that I think about it, unless they're talking about Harry Potter. Stereotypical wizard? I don't know. Wizards and brooms. I think ravens have much more potential than an old stick. I agree. I mean, it would be something new and it would be fun to play around with. Just a cat sitting on the back of a raven and it flies around. Now the question is, would those ravens agree to being, their mode of transport? Are they going to agree with it? Are they going to be fine with cats using them as their mode of transport? Are they a bit of their own free will? We have a Harry Potter house elf situation. Cats shall have giant ravens. Okay. I mean, it could be that the ravens and the cats have a special kind of bond as well. I mean, we don't have to necessarily enslave all the ravens, or the giant ravens. That would be mean. And not great for the cats with society. They're not very stable either. I mean, if those ravens decide to one day just go, nah, not doing it anymore. It would be a lot nicer if they were friends with the cats. Maybe the ravens themselves are magical as well. Who knows? Yes, cats and ravens are friends. Okay, they will be friends. I'm not quite sure when the prompt is raven is going to be ravens. But I think it's coming soon. I know for sure that tomorrow is going to be the tough one with knots. Like, what are cats supposed to do with knots? A bond between Catzard and Ravenzard schools. Yes! Or perhaps they go Ravenzard. I'm just gonna mash animal names with wizard now. Although if we have ravens, what other kind of animals are magical in this world? That would also be an interesting concept to, discover stuff. That could be. This world is very. Really. It's a lot of fun to. Fish! What sort of bond are we? So, I mean, this would just be very, very much against the cats now because I have no that they like the fish as food. Fish are friends, not food. But, this is an ancient pot. It doesn't mean that things are like this now. Maybe all birds have turned into vegetarians. What am I saying? Okay, here I have to be careful because we had this brown and I'm using brown to shade. There is a magic fish that can duplicate itself into any other fish that cats want to eat. So basically, there's a fish that's just there to provide the food for the cat. Is that not a bit of sad life? If you just exist to duplicate also that other people can eat. It was a bit harsh on them. Yes, maybe. We'll see, we'll see. I mean, just because this is an Inktober challenge doesn't mean we just have to, it doesn't mean we're gonna have to stop using this world and expanding it after Inktober ends. We can always continue on the world of magical cats. And ravens, I guess, now too. The world kind of needs a name. World of animal zards. Anizards. Animal zards? Animal? Anizards. Cat world. It sounds like a video game of some sorts. I don't know. You know, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how much we can expand the world in. I think there should also be like a general term for all the animal wizards and witches. believe the term animagi is kind of copyrighted catch. Should be a game we play often. It's right. Or birdies. I mean, they are cats, so they are kind of predators, and they will definitely play those kind of games. I mean, they do play with food in real life, I think, right? Just mess with it a bit, tear it out, and eat. This finishes our vessel for today. Should probably add shadow underneath it as well, just so it's not just a white background essentially. There we go. And then we'll slide. Okay, and I guess we'll end the stream here. So, bye. Looks beautiful. But yes, I'll end the stream here. So see you tomorrow. Bye. Yes, bye. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye.